What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Think About It. It is January 4th. I think, maybe. It could be. We don't know when this is airing. We don't know when we're going to put this on the metaverse, universe, whatever this may be. Well, thank you for your time and thank you for your energy. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. That's the most important part, right? Is listening. Now today we're going to cover some things now. Why do we do this? Why are we here? Well, why did I even ask that question? So I got my notes here. All some things I wrote down and I want to talk about today that I just kind of want to get off my chest. Now, I was just rocking and rolling. I need to calm down, take a deep breath. I was just listening. The audio, if you catch the audio version, I'm not sure if we're gonna edit it for you all, but the audio version you'll probably catch. I was just listening to a great song. We'll come back to this at the end of this episode. We have to turn that off for audio. I hope you all can still hear me. Give me one moment. Those tech people, I tell you. Those tech people, I swear. Anyway, that'll turn off in a minute. Hopefully it's not too bothersome for us. But right before this, I was jamming out and I'm finding myself listening to a lot of certain type of music, certain genre, 70s rock. Why? Now, I just noticed myself ask a certain question twice in the first 2 minutes of this. So that's where I'll begin. In every venture that I start and everything that I do, and how I train even my little one to think, is right from the get-go. I always ask why and how come over and over and over and over, and I never stop. Excuse me. I do that obnoxiously because when my daughter was a baby, I have a video of her going. Imagine babies doing that. Now my ugly face. Don't picture my ugly face doing this for those of you that are watching this on YouTube. But it's good, man. Babies, when you're a child, you have this innocence, this joy for things. What happens to that? When we get older, we lose that. Why? How come? Maybe we'll get into that later today. Anyways, back to this. We've recorded a lot of content. Not a lot, but some. We've recorded various types of content, whether comedic content, serious content, uplifting content. And one thing that I think was the key word for me in 2021 and the thing is, it's not even anything special. It's something so simple. The thing that allowed me to get here, to do this, and the word that just kept ringing in the universe, in my universe throughout 2021, this word just kept popping up. And I'm grateful to the individual who planted the seed in my head, because she planted it for the greatest reason of all. And I could get into that a little bit later as well. But that word is consistency. So that brings me to my first point here. And what I have written here is just, what is your message? What are we doing here? Why are we here? How come we're here? How did we get here? And right after that, I wrote 8 words. Energy, clarity, fear, wavelength. I don't know what they're doing up there. I don't know what they're doing. Who knows? But that leads me to my next word. The 5th word is focus, discipline, vision, sacrifice. Now you hear me talk a lot about, we picked a hell of a time to record, didn't we? You hear me talk a lot about energy, frequency, vibration, and wavelength. And the reason why I talk about these things so consistently is because they're so important. I could go on and on about this, but if you know me, I'm not really the best go by the note, go by the script type of person. I'm more like telling you how it is, or telling what I really feel about it. Because this was just a thought and an emotion that I had probably 15-20 minutes ago. Who's to say that is the same right now in the world we live in today? Think about it. You don't have to throw that in there. If we're not having fun, if we're not, oh, that reminds me to the song. I'll save that for later for you. Pardon me. Coffee. Black. Bert Kreischer. I watched the stand-up last night. I couldn't go to bed. I tried to watch it going to sleep because one of the keys, they say, never fall asleep mad or never fall asleep angry. So one of my little hacks for my brain is I listen to stand-up comedy before bed because, hey, if you're laughing, you're happy. You're happy before bed. So I listened to Bert Kreischer last night, damn near pissed to bed. Positively. Not because I'm old. Because I was laughing. Alright. Focus. Let's get back to it. The next thing I have here is our questions, or a question. It says, what's really going on in our society? What's really going on in our world, in our universe? Well, that's a rabbit hole we will go down later. And isn't it so funny and ironic how we open up these rabbit holes, these thoughts, we create these things into existence. Our minds, how powerful our minds are. Pretty amazing. So I'll just go down and pinpoint this. I'll try and bring more energy. Give me a second. I get some CBD. Stuff's amazing. The audio is going to pick that up real well, because you all can't see I have ears in. The hood's up, not to be cool, but the hood's up for you all, because these have little distracting lights in them. Anyway, energy and clarity. So Why and how come is energy so valuable? Do I even need to go down that route? However, and this is one rabbit hole we will go down right now, is we all know how valuable energy is. However, if we're not aware of the power of our own energy, how valuable is it? So doesn't that say that our self-awareness is now our most powerful asset? And what is our self-awareness? Our mindset. And the beautiful thing about being a human is that we have the power to choose. We have the power to choose our mindset. We have the power to choose what wavelength we function on. You have the power to choose where you focus. Are you listening to the distraction? Or are you listening to what we're supposed to be listening to? Now, I'm not saying I'm the one that's supposed to be listened to, but I'm just saying in this moment in time. I'm doubting to read this next question. I'm hesitating because I think it's a very, very powerful question. I'm going to ask to people, what logical wavelength are we operating? Are we operating in a state of panic, state of fear, state of worry? Why? And how come? Why are we living in a constant state of fear? Why is fear being poured down our throats like never before? How come? Is it by design? Or do we do this to ourselves? Either way, this all comes down to one thing: the power of choice. Like I said before, we as humans have the power and freedom to choose our state of being. So again, we ask, why are so many of us existing in a state of fear, a state of doubt, a state of uncertainty? So what's the next question? Well, one thing I've learned is everything in this universe comes full circle. And that's when it all makes sense. Do we have clarity? Peace? Are we aware of the power of our energy? If you see me every morning, I post Rise and Grind Time. It's another day in paradise. To be honest, I don't do that for you. I do that for me. I post it for you, but I say that every single day before I rise up out of bed. Why? And how come? Well, that's easy. because it truly is another day in paradise. They say in order for one to have true clarity, one must go through absolute darkness. And to be honest, I don't wish that darkness upon any of you. I've seen it. I've lived it. I've felt it. Do me a favor. Just listen. Your energy, your breath is everything. Every day is another day in paradise. Remember, every single day there's someone dying to be in your shoes, as much as you're dying to be in the next person. That's the cycle. That's the duality in it all. So who are we to wake up and not say that this is not paradise? And that song I was listening to, the summer of '69, he says this was the best time of our lives. Well, I thought to myself, well, why and how come? I thought to myself the duality in that song. Yeah, it must be great to look back and to say that at that moment in time, that was the best time of your life. So don't we want 10, 15, 20 years down the road for us to say that 2022 was the summer of '69 and it was the best time of our lives? Why aren't we not waking up every day? This is paradise. We get to wake up every day. After everything we've seen in the last 2 years, people can say that the inevitable is already happening to this great country. Once we realize the power of our own energy and the power of the energy that we exude out from the moment we wake up, once we realize that force, that mass force, once we realize how powerful that is, then the inevitable can change. No government, no rules, no law, no handout was meant to save, or rebuild, or revive any type of empire. Every empire is built by its people, by the purity of its people, by the energy of its people, by the momentum of its people. So it's upon us to build our own individual momentum every day, consistently. Every day it's rise and grind time. Every fucking day. Imagine what we can do once we flip the switch, flip our brains, flip our minds, to think that this is paradise, to understand and to know and to feel and to believe that this is paradise. That there is no better time than now to feel alive, to be alive, to get to be alive. That right now, that this time is the best time of our lives. There's no more important moment than the moment that we're in right fucking now. Pardon my French. remember, it's not about me. It's about you. It's about we. It's about us. Get it? Us. Think about it. I'm merely the messenger. So where does all of this make sense? What do we do about this? Well, you can't think about it too much. No, I'm just kidding. You want me to tell you the truth of what's on my mind right now? I will. I'll be real with you for a second. If the only constant in this world is change, who is it to say, or how is it to say that we can't instantly change the frequency in which we operate? Now, to me, that's easier said than done, because it takes a rewiring and a retriggering of the brain, of every mechanism, and being able to be self-aware enough and focused enough on the different wavelengths and the different frequencies in which you're operating. If change is the only constant in this world, I don't know. Thank you for your time. I'm gonna get some water. We're not done. It's only 22 minutes in. Are you out of your mind? I'm not trying to feed into the short attention span. This bad boy's gonna be an hour and a half. Oh, you better tune in. Do I have to do an ad? This episode is brought to you by. Shh, place your ad here. It's been a while since I spoke for an hour. Hold on, man. Hold on, man. But y'all feel me? You all get what I'm saying? Oh, I left my lighter in the car. Don't worry, we have insurance for this. What are you gonna do? See, that reminds me. See, I'm gonna share with you all a story about energy. Well, two stories actually. I remember when I was a little kid, many times, if not every time, when I was little, my father would come running through our home in South Holland. What's up, Saul? Shout out to South Holland. He would open up the door, stand in the foyer, and he'd come running down. Say, Bobby, 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 give me a hug, give me a hug, give me a hug. I need your energy. I need your energy. I need your energy. I never knew what he was talking about until the princess was born. And I called him and I said, hey, I understand what you're talking about, energy. I get it. I'm gonna double check, make sure you guys are still recording. Second story about energy is he was coaching us. My old man was coaching us in Little League, about 8, 9 years old. We were the Yankees, but we were the B team. Shit, we were even the C team. And we were going up against the Astros, who was the A team. All the older kids, all the best kids. They were the number 1 seed, and we were the 8th seed. And they had all this music blaring, and they were playing "We Will Rock You." And I think I've shared this story before. I apologize if I shared this before, and you've heard it before on other podcasts. But they were playing "We Will Rock You," trying to intimidate us. And they did. We were scared. We were sitting on the bench like, holy shit, they got all this music, blah, 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 blah. And my dad, I'll never forget, he looks over there, and he looks at us, and he looks over there again, and he looks at us, and he puts his hand on the cage of the dugout, and he goes, "You guys." He goes, "Come here." He goes, "Look at those clowns over there. Dancing, hooting, hollering around, wasting all that energy." He goes, "I tell you what," he goes, "I'm so proud of you guys." He goes, "I don't care if we win or lose." He goes, "I just want you guys to go out there and have fun." He goes, "I don't care if we get no hits, all hits." He goes, "I just want you all to enjoy this moment and go out there and have fun." And do you want to know the end result of that game? That game ended in 4 innings. It was supposed to go 6. And we ended up winning 24-2 in a slaughter. What does that tell you about energy? What does that tell you about enjoying the moment right now? What does it tell you about fear? About wavelength, frequency, about how powerful that is. Being able to take 12 Rugrats, kids who never got a hit all season, and smoking them over the fence, hitting doubles and triples, all because of one man's energy, all because of one man's clarity, one man's vision, one man's happiness, to enjoy that moment. And believe me, you may not ever get it again. So that leads me to my next point, my next little topic, my next little niche. Now, honestly, I haven't been looking at the numbers and stats of what's going on in the workforce. I could only go about what I hear from the people that I talk to on a daily basis. And from what I'm hearing from talking to mostly employers, business owners, and they're still in the mindset of they can't find people to work. Why? How come? I haven't spoken to that many people looking for work. Again, I go back to the solution of it all. Was it by design, or did we do this to ourselves? Or both? Probably both, now that I think about it. So what is the solution? What do we do? In my opinion, it comes back down to our education system. Now, I can get into that all day long. To go back to some of my posts. Again, a rabbit hole that I can get into another episode. Remind me to. Shout it out in the comments to remind me to get into this, to the education system episode. I mean, I'm really passionate about it. I went to school to be a teacher, And then once I found out about how it actually works, I said, no way, Jose, and jump ship. Remember that word jump. We're going to use that here shortly. In my opinion, right now, if I were the person in charge, if I were the president of this country, we have to change our education system. We also have to change our mental system. We have to change the way we think about things. We have to change the way that we view our future. We have to change the way we view ourselves. We have allowed, not technology, but we have allowed greed, selfishness, and ego to run our everyday lives. And the secret to it all is that the universe operates on the spectrum that is the polar opposite of those things. This universe was able to thrive and survive many a things because of the forces of goodness, because of the forces of selflessness, of kindness. When we are able to allow those forces to come to surface again, well, that is when we will all prevail. Jump. You might hear this word a lot. It is a word that, to be honest, I programmed in my head nearly a half a decade ago. Jump. What does it mean to jump? To take a risk. To fly. Well, I don't know what it means, but I can tell you what it feels like. And it's freedom. It's true freedom. Knowing that you're on the right frequency and the right wavelength, that you could jump at any point in time and know that everything's going to be okay. Knowing that you have clarity. Knowing that you're not going to fly right away. Knowing that you're going to fall. Knowing that you're going to stumble. Knowing that you're going to hit every branch on the way down. But knowing that you're going to get right back up again and jump again and again and again and again until you're not only flying, but until you're leading the entire flock. That's what it means to jump. I thank you for your energy. Thank you for listening. Remember, I'm just a messenger. It's not about me. It's about you. It's about we. It's about us. All of us. And only together will we prevail.